What I have found is that two definitions have kind of developed for trauma bonding. One is accurate and one is not. So the inaccurate one goes like this. Let's say you're in trauma recovery and you get in a group of other people in trauma recovery and you start sharing your stories and you go, wow, they got similar trauma to me. I just connect with them, and you really start building a good relationship because you're talking about this very open, real, vulnerable stuff. And you go, that must be a trauma bond. We're bonding around our trauma. That's technically not a trauma bond. A trauma bond is the bond that takes place exclusively in abusive relationships. What you're experiencing in that recovery situation is actually healthy bonding, or the beginning of healthy bonding, because you're bonding around a subject, one subject only at first, but it allows you to be open, vulnerable, real, authentic. The key to understand is this. That's the beginning of bonding. For true intimacy to develop, you have to grow beyond just connecting around one topic to beginning to talk openly and honestly about other topics until you're able to talk about everything. And so bonding always begins on one topic, healthy bonding, and then it grows. So the fact that you're bonding around healing your trauma, fantastic, but that's not trauma bonding. Let me give you the definition of trauma bonding. A trauma bond develops when a narcissistic abuser uses coercive control to make you believe you need the abuser's care and validation to feel sufficient. You become highly dependent on the abusive relationship, whether it's romantic or family, friends, or work related. In other words, so you're in a relationship with somebody that's neglecting you or abusing you, but you develop this connection to them and you feel affection for them, you feel dependent on them, even though they're neglecting and abusing you. And so it's a bond that has both feelings of love and feelings of fear. So it's not a healthy bond, but it is a bond. Trauma bonding is a psychological response where a person forms a strong emotional attachment to someone who is causing them harm. That's the key. Often through cycles of abuse, manipulation, or power imbalances. It's especially common in abusive relationships, whether emotional, physical, or psychological. So it's that weird connection and affection that develops with somebody that's actually hurting you. And we're going to look at why that happens. So let me add to this. The term trauma bond describes how feelings of fear, excitement, and sex can manipulate, trap, or entangle another person. So what you see there is there's scary feelings, exciting feelings, sexual feelings. All of them draw you into a web where you feel connected to another person, but actually you're entangled, you're trapped. So periods of intense love and excitement followed by episodes of abuse, neglect, and mistreatment create a corrupt attachment through intermittent reinforcement in the cycle of abuse to an abusive person. There are enough good days to entice you, enough bad days to confuse you, and enough enablers to put forth their fake persona. So you get drawn into a cycle that's got enough good stuff happening that you tolerate the bad stuff and you feel connected to the person. The shorter the length of time between when they show their Jekyll and Hyde sides, the stronger the trauma bond. The longer the span between these ups and downs, the harder they are to detect, and the longer the relationship, which is worse in many ways because it robs you of most precious commodity. So Jekyll and Hyde, good and bad. If you go through lots of abuse, but you get a good time, that cycle happens very quickly. Then that means the relationship's probably going on for a while, and that means the trauma bond is very strong. When there's a long gap between when the bad stuff happens, but there's a lot of good stuff, you stay in it a lot longer and you waste a lot of time. One other perspective. A trauma bond is an orchestrated effort by someone to make you believe that they are your guardian and protector, only for them to pull out the rug from under you. You may rely on the person causing you the pain to be the one who rescues you from it. So the abuser is the one orchestrating the trauma bond. They create the feelings of love and dependence, that they care for you, all of that. Then they pull the rug out from you and hurt you. But the bond has happened and you stay in it. Let me give you a test that was developed by Vanessa Reiser. It's in her book, Narcissistic Abuse, an excellent book. And it just asks some questions that you can answer to see if maybe you do have a trauma bond with somebody. Number one, would you ever want your friends, family, or peers to be in the same kind of relationship that you're in with this other person? If the answer is no, then you've probably got a trauma bond. Does your situation look toxic when you visualize another person in the same predicament? So if you were to picture one of your children in a relationship like yours, would you be happy about it or not? Do you have to keep repeating that others don't understand your relationship? So you got concerned family and friends saying you need to get out of this relationship. It's unhealthy. And you keep having to say, you just don't understand it. That should be a warning sign. Do you often find yourself selling or pitching the good parts of the narcissist or your partner to others? You may be working tirelessly to fix the narcissist's reputation, all the while he's wrecking yours. So do you find yourself always having to defend your partner, try to make them look good, because everybody else is just seeing negative? Does this person have characteristics that remind you of a toxic parent or caregiver? Very important red flag. Do you know it's best to leave, but you simply can't make yourself do it? So your head's saying, get out of here, but you just can't do it. Sign of a trauma bond. Do you feel confused or afraid if you are apart from your partner, that all of a sudden you go, I need to get back to them? You can't survive on your own. So those are really important questions to ask yourself, and hopefully you can answer them honestly. Hi, and welcome again, everyone. I just want to make you aware of something we're offering going into November that I'm quite excited about. We have two courses that, one is a very foundational course, Align with Your 12 Needs, and it's really the foundation work of much of what we teach and really helps people in recovery. And we have one that's all about complex trauma and how it affects the love languages and how you experience love. The Align with Your Needs course normally would sell for $450, but in the beginning of November, we want to take these two courses and offer them to you for $50 US as part of this wellness bundle. Now, even if you don't want all of those other resources, just having these two courses for $50 US to me is just a wonderful deal for people. So if you're wanting to do a deeper dive into understanding your 12 needs, how they got disrupted or not met in complex trauma, how to learn to meet those needs, understand those needs, because that's what recovery is about. And if you really want to understand more about why love is such a difficult topic for you and how maybe complex trauma really messed that up, I would really encourage you to look into this. So if you want more details, they're in the description. Thank you very much.